Okay, we're back on the air, and now we're up to Chapter 9, the psychodynamics of the suicidal mindset. Quite an interesting phenomenon. And anyway, here's my take on it. Uh, you should check with either a psychiatrist or your general practitioner or anybody else capable of rendering decisions in this arena. It's packed full of lots of interesting things. Anyway, this is what I've written, and we'll basically do some commentaries of what I've written. As the book is, since 2009, is undergoing tremendous revision, so I'll include all the new stuff in my book. Um, in any case, the subject, the title is The Psychodynamics of the Suicidal Mindset. To master the most basic or common psychological disorders, let's start with one that has perplexed us for centuries. That's suicide. It's very sad, but yes, you heard right. We have an analysis that just might be helpful in countering the suicide mindset. Can't guarantee it. Anything is possible. Until more recent times, with the advent of low noise thinking, there was very little to help anyone recognize the innate warning signs that could alert us into the early detection and treatment of suicidal suspects. We have since been able to conceive a very simple visual analogy that could be used to prevent the brain from driving its owner into ending their infinitely precious life. So, where do we begin? Here is a very useful visual analogy that probably could work. It could be said that every psychotic disorder has a designated damaged area that was caused by something for each individual. The basic mechanics are the same, except for the very specific pinpoint location of the minuscule damage spot or area of the brain. This can be located almost anywhere in the brain. It can't be seen, and it could either be chemical, it could be whatever, but it cannot be visualized in any microscope or MRI or anything like that. This can be located almost anywhere in the brain. So now let's view the brain's structure, its architecture. You can think of it as a large network of many major and minor railway interchanges, kind of like a huge Grand Central Station. The tracks coming in and the tracks departing, each towards a specific city or in the analogous part in the brain. If that major interchange were bombed or destroyed, it would take a long, long time to repair, so that this would disrupt you from traveling home or to some very pressing designation. It would disrupt you. Since brain tissue interchanges cannot be replaced to any significant degree, certain designations, or to any degree, certain designations in the mind would never be approachable again. The brain would try to use other connections in an effort to handle the traffic. Kind of analogous to what's happening in real life. If you miss your train stop, then you have to have another way of getting back. Since brain tissue interchanges cannot be replaced to any significant degree, certain destinations in the mind would never be approachable again. The brain would try to use other connections in an effort to handle the traffic. Unfortunately, the end result would be massive chaos, as the wrong train would arrive at the wrong town. In the suicidal mindset or mind, something similar occurs. But in this context, the result is a fatal mental pileup. The suicidal mind also sends out destruct signals, self-destruct signals, that are generated by some micro damage areas of the brain that are impossible to see even under the highest power or anything. These damage signals are falsely informational in nature. That is, they are not noise. They are harmful signals that command someone illogically to end their life. So it's not it's not somebody's fault. This is what exists, like a time bomb ready to go off. These damage signals are false informational in nature. That is, they are not noise. They are harmful signals that command someone illogically to end their life. I guess in a way you consider it noise, but not in the general sense. Nonetheless, not good. The signals are persistent in nature. They are characterized by the fact there is no possibility of mitigating these signals by any amount of reasoning. In short, one cannot reason with anyone or anything that has no logic to it. It makes no sense. The only way of dealing with harmful signals like this is to avoid them by not responding to them. Alternatively, one could try to wall them off at the source or along the way to their ultimate destination. Now that we have a better understanding of the structure of the problem, there is a lot of hope. However, we cannot not always come up with a solution. It's quite mystical, but nonetheless, it's real. There has to be something that could block or put the brakes on movement in this direction, like putting up a barricade. In the brain, we refer to that blockade as noise. So noise blocks. Low noise lets everything through. It's a recognized and established fact that people who require very little sleep have lower than average noise levels to block harmful stimuli in the mind. They have a much higher risk of suicide. In this case, it would be most advantageous to elevate perhaps the ambient noise level of the mind, but that's only an analogy. It's probably not true. Once you appreciate that noise is highly recommended as a protective guard against committing suicide, you'll be well on your way to wanting to know all the ways you can find to raise or lower noise in your own mind. There are many potential solutions, as you will discover in the chapters to follow. No doubt you will have access to or invent many others that you could share with our worldwide community of interested partners. I would be happy to publish your quotes. Once people find the method that works for them, they could lose any fear that they may have about virtually anything that could go wrong in their life. They become totally fearless and relieved of worry using my one-sock-fits-all optimal formula for total success and happiness. What's it again? Yes, you guessed it correctly. It's LNT, Low Noise Thinking. Okay, that completes Chapter 9. We're getting ready for Chapter 10, which is Sexual Orgasm, its effect on noise, and vice versa. See you later.